I'll do that louder. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry for the few minutes of delay. We are returning from an executive session. We were discussing an STA discussion and also an investigation. Can everyone rise for pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda? Naomi is first, Thomas second, all in favor? 6 in favor, the motion passes. I will note that Deanna is traveling for work and cannot attend tonight. I'm sure she misses being here. This is one of our favorite nights. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Does anyone have any announcements in advance before we begin? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to move to the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. So we have quite a few presentations on the agenda tonight. And I asked Mr. A or Mr. Gastonelli, is that his son, right? To come to the mic and he'll explain the student recognition that we're doing tonight.
So I'm here to talk to you tonight about PRILI, also known as the Puerto Rican Hispanic Youth Leadership Institute. It happens every year, late winter. Questar Voces is instrumental in kind of putting it on. You see our students, I'll introduce in a second, who wonderfully represented Shenendehowa. They're going to tell you a little bit about their experience. But just so you're aware, the Youth Leadership Institute, they debate live bills on the assembly floor. They learn all about New York State government. They go through leadership training. And it's really an honor to be part of this. And they really represented Shenendehowa really well. I want to tell you just a little bit about each student so you know they're not just doing this Leadership Institute. They are active here at Shen. So some we met today, some we met last week, and we kind of talked about the things they do, and they sent me some of the things they do here. And I said, well, I can't say all of that because we will be here all night. But just as you meet them, they'll come up and say some stuff. But I'll tell you a few things about them. So Matthew Bushwaldo Torres, you can see him on the screen there. He's chess club, ski club, Chinese club, current events club, math honor society, science honor society, Shen rowing for 5 years. Dylan Dorota, and I will mention that Dylan was also recognized as the outstanding delegate for the whole Capital Region Institute. He's the founder and president of Chess Club here, World Language Honor Society, SFA Senate, plays soccer here. Gabriela Lima, she's in the Leo Club, Key Club, UNICEF Club, International Club, Spanish Club. Lede Pilco Ozuna, she's speaks 3 languages I have here. Also Key Club, International Club, Spanish Club, World Language Honor Society, track and field, and soccer. Isabella Rodriguez just joined us from Ecuador about a year ago, speaks 3 languages, English, Spanish, Portuguese. She's in the Spanish Club, the Key Club, and volunteers at a local food pantry. And Mateo Stevens, the only student who could not make it today because he's on a field trip with his Spanish class today, is in Chess Club, Chinese Club, Math Team, Math Honor Society, and World Language Honor Society. So you're going to hear from these students what they did outside of Shen, but I wanted you to know all the stuff they do here at Shen. So we're going to turn it over. You have a little bit, and you can ask any questions about the Institute too. So,
right.
Hi, my name is Lede, and I'm just going to talk about my experience at PRILI. What I enjoyed the most about PRILI was the opportunity to meet other students who, like me, are proud of their Latino heritage and are passionate about making a difference in our communities. It was inspiring to be surrounded by young leaders who understand the importance of using their voices to create positive change. PRILI also helped me overcome one of my biggest fears, that is speaking English. I came to the United States 2 years ago, and when I came, I didn't even know how to say good morning. But through this experience, I gained the confidence to express myself better and speak English without fear. Another thing that makes me proud is that even though I was born in Spain, my dad is from Ecuador and my mom is from Paraguay. This makes me feel even more connected to my roots and gives me a stronger desire to represent my community. Being part of PRILI made me realize how important it is to honor where I come from and to be a voice for others in my community. This experience has inspired me to do more in the future. I now feel more prepared to take on leadership roles and contribute to my community. PRILI remind me how important it is for young Latinos to be involved and take action. I am proud to represent my culture and show that we, as Latinos, can be strong leaders. I am truly grateful for everything I learned and for the connections I made. Pride Light has been an amazing experience, and I'm excited to apply what I have learned in the future. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Isabella Rodriguez, and I'm from Ecuador. I want to tell you my experience in Pride Light, Puerto Rican Hispanic Youth Leadership Institute. This program makes you feel proud of where you're from and makes Hispanic young teenagers know that their voice is also important. I made a lot of connections, get to know assembly members. I'm so happy I went there, and I'm so proud of being a Latina.
Hello everyone, my name is Gabriela Lima Rivera, and I participate in Pride Light 2025. And I will tell you about a little bit of my experience in this program. I participate in this program was an awesome opportunity for me as a student. This program really engaged me for my people and my people. Pride Light really helped me to make a really important connections and also gave us opportunity to meet assembly members such as like Gabriela Romero, Karina Reyes, and Phil Ramos. They also help us academically and with my writing skills and public speaking skills, making us express ourselves and our opinions more. In this program, we studied bills, and lately we discussed them in the Senate with all the 300 students that were participating in. This experience was the best I could ask for, and I found my voice through Pride Light and made me proud of my roots and who I truly am. They showed me that I don't have to hide who I am, but I have to express myself more. Thank you, Angelo del Toro, for making me awesome experience in Pride Light.
Hey, my name is Matthew Bishwalo, and I attended Pride Light. It was a very helpful experience. I really liked it because I've never been in such a community with people like me, and it was a very refreshing feeling as knowing that there's a lot of people like me that have similar backgrounds and similar stories where they came from, and it was a good feeling. This also taught me valuable skills, lifelong skills. The speeches from the assembly members that they gave were also very helpful and gave me an insight on how I should live my life and stuff like that. And yeah, I really appreciate it. This was a very good experience. Thank you.
So my name is Dylan DeRota, and my experience through Pride Light I thought was very interesting because I never fancied myself as the type of person to get involved in government, and this has been something that's kind of changed the way I view things. And additionally, just some more information about Pride Light. It was started by Angelo del Toro as a way to get Latinos and Hispanics involved within our local government. And since then, it's been at least 35 years now, I think, that this program's been around, and it has certainly helped a lot of different people, come together from all across the state. There are a total of 7 delegations. We represent the Capital District delegation, and it's cool to see people from all over with similar backgrounds come to join together. Additionally, I wanted to talk on what Mr. A mentioned earlier with the Outstanding Student Delegate Award. I was the junior from the Capital District delegation, the only one of this delegation, and there's one from each of the 7 delegations. And because of that, I was able to go to the Somos Gala just this past March. And I was able there to see a lot of good speakers. I saw Kathy Hochul there as well. And then later this fall, I will be attending a trip to Puerto Rico as another additional part with Somos to learn more about the government there. And I'm excited to be a part of it. Thank you.
So we thank the board, we thank Dr. Robinson for an opportunity to meet some of our outstanding students that are representing Shen here, but also outside in the capital region that really make us proud. So thank you for this opportunity. I don't know if there's any questions for them. But
I just have one question. I'm very excited that this is a wonderful program. Is this the first year that Jen has participated?
No, we've had several years we've had, I think this is probably our largest delegation by
Okay.
far. Yeah.
This is the entire delegation.
From Shen,
From Shen,
yes.
okay.
So how many are in the total delegation?
Yeah, most of them are from the Pickapod Cranes.
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think Quest Arbosi sponsored it, so that would be there.
I see, okay. Well, it's fantastic, thank you all for what you're doing, it's really important.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
That was absolutely our pleasure. Congratulations, yes, everybody, for all your hard work.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. A. So I would also now ask Mr. LeBear to come forward for our showcase of winter sports.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question? Can we get a picture of the
Sure.
students that just came up?
With the board?
Yes, with the board.
Sure.
Okay.
Ron, ready to cruise.
I'm sorry, Lucas, for.
Absolutely, just tell him I'm gonna take your picture while you're.
You wanna be in the photo,
It might be
Lucas?
he's over here. Can you, have Ray or Vanessa?
If you want use my phone?
Yeah,
Okay.
Vanessa can take. Watch your step. Catch you.
Got it.
Yeah, we in the picture.
Ready? Perfect, thank you.
That's so funny.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, sir, you have the floor.
All right, thank you very much. We'll get started. As you can see by the crowd behind me, we have a lot to celebrate with winter sports here at Shenendehowa. I want to thank all of our coaches, families, and athletes for coming out this evening. We appreciate you being here so that we can recognize you. Before I get started, I do want to just mention that, you know, in a desire to keep things reasonable, we do look to highlight some of our greatest accomplishments, but I want it to be known that we had many other athletes, teams, coaches who had successes this year that are notable and certainly well-deserved and applauded. So we're gonna go through some of the key highlights from this winter season, but first, if we wanna just share a couple of stats on the next page. In terms of participation this winter, we had an outstanding year, an outstanding season. We had 9 different sports represented, spread across 21 teams of various levels. 44 coaches led those teams into competition, and we had well over 500 students participate in winter sports this past season. So it was nice to see nearly a fifth of our student body in a single season. On the next page, we definitely always keep in mind that our athletes are students first and athletes second. And so we're proud to recognize the fact that they were highly accomplished in the academic arena as well. All 12 varsity teams met the NISFA requirement to be recognized as scholar athlete teams. And that is a pretty high bar to meet. 75% of each team's roster have to achieve a 90% or higher GPA for the time of the season. We had over 160 individual scholar athletes also reach that mark who will receive a recognition pin. And I'm proud to say that Shen continues to be eligible for the School of Distinction. That's achieved when every single varsity team from every single season throughout the entire year achieves scholar athlete status. And we're on track to hopefully achieve that after another successful spring season. So kudos to our athletes for their work in the classroom as well. We're going to start going through, in no random order, some of our sports teams that had some tremendous successes. First up is one of our newest sports programs, which has been met with outstanding success. Our girls wrestling team has expanded their numbers. They've excelled in competition and had a lot of great accomplishments. You can see up there, they were first place in the Suburban Council, second place in this section. We had 5 female wrestlers qualified to go to the state championship, which is an honor in itself. And we were proud to recognize Ava Gilmet as a state champion for girls wrestling. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Coach Paul Marino just to say a few words and recognize some of his accomplishments.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to thank the board for recognizing the girls wrestling program tonight. And always I'd like to thank our wrestlers, coaches, families, supporters for their involvement in our program. Again, the season was historic, and to continue with the common trend of girls wrestling, there were a lot of firsts this year. Again, it's our third year of our program, but this is the first year that girls freestyle wrestling was introduced, an Olympic style of wrestling, and also the first year that we became a sanctioned sport by NISFA standards. I need to give the girls a huge shout out for their commitment over this past year as a whole, their dedication, commitment to learning freestyle and, in dominant fashion is nothing short of impressive in a really short period of time. Our girls had an outstanding season, finishing 7-1 in conference duels in the Suburban Council and 9-2 overall. Again, we won the Suburban Council this year, and we battled our way to a runner-up finish in the first ever New York State duels for high school girls, proving that our program is one of the best in New York State itself. Individually, our girls had incredible success. We had 9 Section 2 place finishers, 5 total state qualifiers, and we were good enough to have a runner-up finish in Section 2, so that is a great accomplishment. The team that beat us, they finished second in New York State. So again, we have worthy opponents looking at that. We sent 5 to the state tournament and had 2 outstanding performances. Mackenzie Harbor placed 3rd in New York State, and she had a very dominant backside of the tournament, teching and pinning every opponent to a 3rd place finish, so hats off to her. And Abel Gamet becoming our first ever girls freestyle state champion. And again, that is a NISFA public school state champion, going 4 for 4 with all first period pins. The effort of all 5 girls that won matches at the state tournament proved her a 4th place finish as our program. And this is a great accomplishment for the girls. Kudos to them for their effort this entire season, and it really shows the strength of our program and what we have to expect moving forward. So these girls are really setting the groundwork for great tradition that we're really looking to build here at Shenendehowa. Thank you.
Are there any present?
Come on up, girls. Let's go.
Yeah, so Lucas, have the coach just bring the kids up and we can take a quick picture on the other side. Introduce the 5 that were the.
Yeah, so our 5 state qualifiers, we had Sophia Peon, Maddie Hill, Caitlin Hart, Mackenzie Harbor, who was 3rd place, or Caitlin Young, I'm sorry. two Caitlins in the program, and Ava Gilmet, and she's on her way right now. She was running late from an appointment.
Okay, awesome. Congratulations. Can we take a quick picture?
Yep, absolutely.
No, Tommy, you gotta.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna do it.
No. Are we getting it?
No, we just, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Too much.
Carla.
No, just the students out there this
Yeah.
time. Because otherwise.
She's
it's
like,
too
I'm
many.
going.
She wants to rest.
I know it doesn't. Oh, I understand that. I love
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, congratulations.
So proud of you.
Thank you, girls. Thank you, coach.
Lucas, if Ava shows up.
Yes.
Let's introduce her.
Hey, when she shows up, we just. Absolutely. Yep. Moving on, we want to recognize both of our skiing teams who had a great success this year. First up is alpine skiing. If I could ask our alpine skiers and coach to come on up front. Our alpine skiing team this year took 1st place in Section 2 for the girls, despite having a very small roster. They won their 4th straight sectional title, pretty amazing. And to top that off, 1st place in the state championship. This is the 3rd state title in just 4 years. Pretty incredible. Several members recognized on the All-Star team as well. So without further ado, I'll introduce Coach Berman.
Good evening, hi. quite a team. We had 4 girls on the team, 3 score every race. They won 7 out of 8 Section 2 races this year. A couple were under the weather for that 8th race, so we didn't do so well. But they came back, they won sectionals going away, and came in first at states. Pretty impressive. 3rd one in 4 years, like Lucas said. I'm pretty proud of them. Sarah is a 4-time section champion, 3-time state champion. Marissa's sister was a 2-time state champion with us. This is her first year as sectional champ. And Taylor's a 2nd year sectional champ, 1st time state champ. So pretty impressive, pretty good. And they're also all scholar athletes, which kind of is a oxymoron with ski racing. You think somebody's throwing their body down a hill at 40 miles an hour is kind of stupid. They're pretty smart. Thank you for your support, continued support. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up, we had tremendous success in our Nordic skiing program as well. I know Coach Plenty is here with us tonight. Some of our Nordic skiers had some conflicts, but I'll have him come up if you would. These folks had a 2nd place finish in the section, and we had several athletes who had standout seasons outside of the team success. Fiona Klingbeil was a 1st team All-Star, 3rd at sectionals. Raquel Landa had a sectional title. She was named Times Union's Athlete of the Year for Nordic skiing. 1st team All-Star and came in 3rd place in state competition. Also notable, Jacob Perkins and Caitlin Moore were state qualifiers as well. So high level of competition, a lot of success, and I'll turn it over to Coach Plenty for a couple of words.
Much of what I wanted to say has been already taken for me, but I'll do my best to add some filler to it. So a very successful year for us, both for people still within the program and people that have graduated the program. I'll get to that in a moment. Raquel has won her 3rd straight individual sectional title, so it's a very impressive feat for her. And she continued to compete. She went to Utah to compete in the junior nationals, and she couldn't be here tonight because tomorrow she'll be competing in Lake Placid at the Super Tour finals. So tremendous season for her. Obviously the accolades are there. And we also had graduate Phil Matthews from class of 22. He's a 5-time varsity athlete, 4-time state qualifier. He just recently won the Division III individual national championship for sprint and helped his college Paul Smiths win a national championship as well. So we, much like Alpine, we have a small contingent, but we do a lot with what we have, and weather is always a factor. And so I'm always thankful for the athletes and the parents who are willing to brave the elements and brave the darkness to come out and support us. So, and thank you all for the continued support for the athletic program as well. So they all have conflicts working, and they're all over the place with being scholar athletes and working and competing. So
Yeah, they're busy people. Thank you so much.
Next up, we have our boys swimming and diving team. I'd like to call up our swimmers and divers, Coach Dunham. I know some of our other coaches are here as well. The swimming team was Suburban Council champions. Once again, Section 2 champions. They had an undefeated season. They didn't lose a single meet. They swept the podium at diving, taking 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place at sectionals. I really would like to give a big shout out to Coach Dunham, who's been a longtime presence here. He's also our aquatics director. He was able to gather his 200th career win here at Shen this season. We had several of our athletes and team members compete at the state championship as well. So without further ado, we'll have our swimmer and divers come on down, as well as our swimming and diving coaches.
Always a little awkward because I feel like I'm talking to you, but I have my back to everybody else that's in the room. So luckily, I'm trained to be loud for being at the swimming pool. So thank you very much, Lucas, for recognizing us, and I'd also like to say a big thank you to Lucas. You did an excellent job this year as our athletic director, and was very supportive, and he was there for all of our big moments throughout the year. He was there when we had our teacher appreciation night. He was the one who took that picture of me and my 200th win there. And he was there throughout sectionals all weekend and very supportive. So big thank you to him. Thank you to Dr. Robinson. Thank you to the board. It's never lost on me as somebody who swam here last millennium that we had that beautiful aquatic center over there. And I like to remind our boys all the time that, you know, we used to have to travel uphill both directions to go to Mechanicville High School. And then when I got hired as the head coach, Mechanicville filled a pool, and it turns out you need water, and we used to bounce all over the place. And trust me when I say I never take that pool for granted. And one of the things that we talked a lot about this year is most of the boys on the team this year are the same age as the pool. And one of the things that our senior captain pointed out during his speech, which I thought was very on point, is, you know, these guys were all pretty much raised at the pool, right? A lot of them took swimming lessons at the pool, and it's hard to believe the pool's been around for that long, but a lot of these guys took swimming lessons there. A lot of these guys have been members of our club team, the Piranhas, for 10, 11, 12 years. They're part of our first modified team that we ever had, right? And a lot of them work there as lifeguards and swim instructors and everything else. So we spend an awful lot of time with one another, and we're just very grateful as always that we have such a wonderful facility and that we are in a community that has such support. Our big theme this year was set the tone. And what that really meant was it meant a couple different things, but the most important thing was coming into practice each and every day and setting the highest of expectations and setting the tone. And you know, it's great to celebrate all of these things, but as every coach will tell you in here, you have to love the process more than the outcome, and you have to love that piece of it. And as the head coach, that's something that along with our assistant coaches, we try to preach every day is you got to really love that piece of it, and then it will translate into everything else. I want to recognize couple different people. Nate Davey, third time in a row as Section 2 champion and the leader of our We also had 200 freestyle relay that finished first in Section 2 this year. But ultimately, you know, swimming sometimes gets a rap as being an individual sport, but it's no different than any other sport where everybody has to play their role. And I'll give you a real quick example of that. You know, we were undefeated, and Saratoga was undefeated, and it was Saratoga's senior night, and we were at their pool, and it was what makes high school athletics great. It was a very high atmosphere. You know, their best swimmers were faster than our best swimmers, and they got first place in the overwhelming majority of events. But we won the meet pretty handedly, not because we had the fastest swimmers, but because we had the best team, and we had everybody who understood their role and everybody coming through, and that's why we were able to remain undefeated and beat them at sectionals and beat everybody else and get to where we were able to get to. So I'd also like to thank my coaching staff. I'm very lucky to have Coach Hogan, Coach Washburn. Unfortunately, other coaches, Danielson and Hotelman, couldn't be here, but very fortunate to have them. And I'd like to also recognize and point out our senior captain who's going to come up here. Cooper Simmons won the Scholar Athlete Award for all of Section 2. So Cooper, come on up here.
I kind of just want to say it's really been an honor to be like a part of this team and to be a captain of this team this year. I've been on the team for all 4 years of high school, and it's just been great all the way through. It's been an honor to be on the team with these guys. It's a great team of guys, great swimmers, great athletes, great people. And like Chuck said that I said in my speech, that the pool kind of raised a lot of us together. So a lot of us grew up together and already knew each other. But over these past few years, I've gotten to know a lot of the younger kids too. And I've spent so much time with them, and the whole team has become so close. And I think that's one of the really great things about this team is that everyone has a role, and in that way, everyone is also really close, becomes really close over these 4 years, and it really feels like a team because everyone just feels so together. And I also want to thank our coaches. I want to thank Chuck and Dave and Coach Hogan and our other coaches who couldn't be here because they've been great over these past 4 years and really set examples for us to follow and carried us through this year. And we've just had a great season overall with everyone putting forth their best effort. Had a lot of breakthroughs for younger swimmers, and I'm excited to see what this team becomes the next few years. Thank you, guys.
Ready? Beautiful, thank you.
Thanks,
Good job, Rick.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Next up, we have boys wrestling. Our counterpart on the boys side of wrestling had a very successful season once again as well. They were second place in the Suburban Council, and they went on to have a decisive victory for first place in Section 2. They also had 5 athletes qualify for the state championship in Albany, which was an exciting event to be at for sure. So without further ado, I'll call up boys wrestling coach Capizzuti, and any of our boys wrestlers that are here, come on up, guys.
First, I would like to say thank you to the Board of Education for recognizing the boys wrestling team tonight. And a big thank you to Lucas, who was a huge help this year. We have a lot of moving parts with wrestling. There's lots of practice spaces, and they were very good at organizing, helped us organize everything and make sure that we were always had a place to practice, which was not an easy job. We had a pretty good regular season. We were second in the Suburban Council with a record of 6-2. Overall dual meet record of 11-5. We had 2 individual tournament team championships, and over 5 individual tournaments we had 30 top 6 place finishers, which was a pretty big accomplishment. Our postseason started off very good and kept rolling all the way through. We were the Section 2 dual meet team champions for the first time in about 4 years. We went 1-1 at the New York State dual meet tournament, which was pretty good as well. We were first at the Class A tournament, qualifying 13 wrestlers to the sectional tournament, which we are the only team that I know of, and this is the second time that we've done it, is qualified every single one of our wrestlers that we brought to the Class A tournament for sectionals. When it was 15 wrestlers, we were the only team to ever do it, qualified 15 wrestlers, and this year we qualified all 13 of our wrestlers that we took. At the sectional tournament, we also were first. We had 2 champions, Greg Green and Joey Losey. A second place, Dylan Green. Third, Trevor Eggleston, Dawson Messinger, and Ethan Yang. Fifth, Isaac Janes. And sixth, they had Robbie and Liam Powers. And the good thing about that is we are returning 12 of our 13 sectional starters. And we sent 5 guys to the States, and we had Greg Green place 8th in the States. And one of the big highlights of the state meet that was not involved with the actual wrestling was that we were able to witness Rob Weeks, former head coach and still assistant coach, get inducted into the New York State Hall of Fame, which was a huge accomplishment.
Is he here? Is he? Oh, there is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
While we're still on the topic of wrestling, I do want to call up Ava Gilmet, who was late to arrive here this evening, but we really do need to recognize her individually. Just a tremendous performance at the Girls State Championship for Wrestling. I was there to witness this. 4 or 5 opponents in a row, each one of them pinned, some of them in just a matter of seconds. Coach Palmerino could probably speak more to that, but again, a state championship, all on pins, all with decisive victories, really impressive.
Yeah, so finished first at the state tournament, 4 for 4 in all of our 4 matches, all first period pins. So, you know, very dominant performance. Also, today is her birthday, so we're that would be quite the feat. So,
It's going to be a lot of championships.
again, a lot of talent already and a bright future ahead of her.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Stay there.
Sorry, Mama's here.
you.
Awesome, thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you.
Champions with a win over a very talented Canton team, went on to the state championship in Buffalo and had a very hard-fought loss there in the semifinals, but much to be proud of. I'm sure that coach can talk a little bit more about the season's accolades, but without further ado, ice hockey, come on up.
You want to take over? You can.
No, you
Get up there.
That's good. Dr. Robinson, members of the board, thank you all for inviting us here tonight. And I want to also congratulate the other winter sport athletes and coaches on an excellent season. This was another memorable season with this group of kids. You know, I'll go through a couple little stats, but I brought up a paragraph from an email that was sent to me by a high school referee after one of our games that I feel like summarizes the group and what I'd like to say is our achievements. Okay, but anyway, we play a 20-game season. We started off the season strong. We were 10-2-1 at one point, but we hit a couple roadblocks towards the end of the season. We didn't go into our playoff run the way that we would normally like to, but credit to this group of players standing over here on allowing tough moments to galvanize them and come together as a group. So when we lost 3 of our last 4 games before the end of the season, there was a lot of doubt, and they were able to muster through some tough moments and answer the bell on a number of times, and it took us all the way to the Final Four in Buffalo. So it was a tremendous run, but going into the sectional tournament, we were the number 2 seed, but fortunately we were able to finish with an overall record of 17-7-1. As Mr. LeBert mentioned, we made our way to Union College. We played our last game at Union College because they're closing that building and opening up a new one. So that was historic in its own right. But we're able to beat our crosstown rival, Saratoga High School, in a very memorable game. Let's just put it that way. It was a memorable game. A lot of lead changes, back and forth, and they were a good team. They were a very good team, and in the end, we had to fight for our lives just to defend. And you know, we were a type of team that didn't have any players in the top 5 or top 6 of the league in scoring, whether it was goals, assists, points overall. We didn't have those leaders at the top of the league, but we were what I would like to think is a true team. We were able to do it with all hands on deck. At the end of that game, I received an email from the referee that was officiating that game, and I'm just going to pull out a couple sentences from that email. He went on to say, now this is a guy that he's been reffing in the league for 20 years. He also refs at the NCAA level, both Division I and Division III. He's a very good official. And he had said it to both myself and the Saratoga coach. That was probably one of the best games I've officiated in my whole high school hockey career. I wanted to tell you that that was not only the best I have ever seen of any team's players act in a high pressure contest in a high school hockey game, and not one player on either team had any negative comments towards any of the officials during the game, nor lost control of their emotions or their playing style. Please pass along to members of your community, including the parents and players, how impressed that we were as an officiating staff with the conduct of your team. So I took a lot of pride in that because, you know, as coaches, we want to push our players to the brink. We want to always raise the bar for them to get them to achieve more than they think that they might be able to. And 99% of the time, you always end your season in a loss, and that shouldn't define your season, but it's how you act in those tough moments. And we had a lot of tough moments down the stretch where we were able to find ways to win, but even, you know, just a week and a half ago where we eventually lost to the team that won the state championship, we hung on, and I think we represented our community well. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is our girls indoor track team. I want to mention on behalf of Coach Cloutier, he's not here this evening. He had practice and then he went home to celebrate the birthday of one of his children. So understandable reason not be here. We do have some other coaches in the house as well. So we could have our girls track athletes and coaches come on down. As you can see, a full slide here of really amazing accomplishments. I won't go through all of it in detail, but we had a team that finished second in the section. We had some athletes that placed both at the state level and the national level. We had school records that have been standing for some time taken down. We had performances that ranked some of our athletes in the top 9, top 11 in the USA of all time. So really an impressive overall season, especially in the home stretch and the postseason. A lot to be proud of here. So hats off to you, and I'll turn it over to Coach Vendetti.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Venditti and I am one of the assistant coaches of the girls and boys Shenendehowa track and field team. First, I'd like to thank the Board of Education for giving us the opportunity to recognize our athletes' hard work and dedication as a group of students. Our student athletes work very hard on and off the track to represent our school community in a positive way, and we are very proud of them and all they have accomplished this season. To start off, our Section 2 championship, on the girls' side, they finished second place. We've been stuck at third for a little while, so this meant a lot to them. And we have big things coming into outdoor. I know they have a lot of big goals, and we were very excited for them to get that plaque back in our school for second place. We also have Layla Boucherie, who finished first in the 1500 at the sectional championship, and Caitlin Collette, who is not here tonight, but finished as the sectional champion in the weight throw. All right, I have a lot of stats here, but I'll make them quick. This year, we sent 6 athletes to the state meet, competing in a variety of events. Caitlin Collette in weight throw, Layla Boucherie in the 3K, who had a 4th place finish and ran a new school record. This also put her at that point number 15 in the country. The girls 4x8, Dia Sweet, Layla Boucherie, Riley Lynch, and Courtney Kowicki also finished 3rd and ran 11th in the country. Jack Seagrow ran the 3200, finishing in 4th place as well. Rounding out our season, we traveled to nationals where we sent 17 athletes to compete in many different races. Jack Seagrow ran the 3200 again, but this time capped off his season with a school record as a senior. Our distance medley relay, which is Riley Lynch, Caitlin Spinner, Courtney Kowicki, and Layla Boucherie, ran 6th place, putting them at All-American status, which is top 6 fastest in the country. Our 4x8 relay ran the 6th place as well, finishing as All-Americans, and that was Dia Sweet, Riley Lynch, Courtney Kowicki, and Layla Boucherie. The boys ran as well, running the DMR and 4x-mile, finishing 11th, and that was Jack Seagrow, Jack Hallahan, Leo Christopher, and Greg Persigan. We sent a girls 4x-mile as well, which was Addie Morelli, Katie Battle, Maura Glynn, and Riley Lynch, who also competed very well. Our shuttle hurdle relay, which was Jordan Chidzik, Charlotte Hofstein, Julia Sinnott, and Caitlin Spinner ran number 2 in Section 2 history and also ran a school record. Last but not least, our 4x4, Jenna Danforth, Julia Sinnott, Willa Coleman, and Caitlin Spinner finished our Nationals adventure, running great at their first time at Nationals for a lot of them, and finished their season running the second fastest time in school history. We are beyond proud of all of our athletes and cannot wait to see their hard work carry over into our outdoor season on our brand new track. Thank you very much.
Great job.
You've got all that room.
So Mr. LeBaron, so does that mean we have a lot of changes to make to that scoreboard that's out there that was? There are records that were broken. Did they change the stats that are on the scoreboard?
Yes, it's updated, I think, annually.
Okay.
Yeah, we usually do that process at the beginning of summer. I know the banner is updated in summer, I think the track records are really well.
Do we have any boards here?
Yes. Yes, actually, up next is boys indoor track, so thank you, Coach, for highlighting some of their accomplishments. Coach Burlingame indicated to me just a few hours ago that actually some of his boys and him were tied up with workouts late into the evening with some weight work. So I know that some of them couldn't be here, but we definitely have some folks here today just to run through some of the highlights from boys indoor track. Some of these we heard from Coach Venditti, so thank you. I want to recognize Matt Thompson was a sectional champion in shot put. I know he's going to be competing at the collegiate level as well. Ishan Alozi was a sectional champion in the 55 meter. These guys placed 3rd in sectionals as a team. We had several of our athletes, as you can see up there, qualified for the state championship. We just heard a little bit about Jack Seagrove, had an amazing season, broke the school record in 2 miles at the Nationals, number 4 in Section 2 all time, and 4th place at the state championships. We had some big successes from a relay team, also came in the top 5 in the section. And then we had Clayton Smith, who broke the school record for the 200 meter. And again, just a highlight of some of their accomplishments, but we definitely want to give a hats off to our boys track team as well. Thank you.
It's not working at home. Okay.
Shut it all down. The audio.
Next up, we want to recognize our bowling team. Had a great season. Our bowling team, the co-ed team, they had a 1st place finish at a Rotterdam tournament, 2nd place finish at a large tournament down in Fishkill. The boys were able to take the Suburban Council Championship. They went 11-2 in their matches. They were 3rd in the Section 2 championship. We had a couple of different standout bowlers. One of them, Maya Schnee, was named to the Section 2 composite team for the state. One of our coaches, Jesse Aiza, actually works with the coaching the state team, and they were able to, with that athlete's help, with a great 1,326 pins in 6 games, just incredible, take that team to a 2nd place state finish. So lots of great things happening. I'd like to call down our bowling athletes and coaches.
Thank you for inviting us here tonight. I'm Connor Chatterton. Myself and Jessica Aiza, we are co-head coaches for the bowling team. This is our 3rd year coaching the bowling team, and I would just love to thank the board, Dr. Robinson, for giving us this opportunity. It truly is a passion of ours, it always has been, and to be able to coach every day and work with this amazing group of kids truly is a privilege. As Mr. LeBar stated, we had an excellent year. We had 2 tournament wins, one of them being the Suburban Council. We also tied 1st in the regular season at 11-2 with Guilderland. So we had a lot of accomplishments, and along with that, we now have 3 bowlers on our team that have a 300 game. Zach Reynolds, Tyson Brewer just bowled his first 300 game on Sunday, and Jonathan Mills also has a 300. So my favorite part about coaching this group is, they do have a lot of accolades. They are excellent bowlers, but more importantly, they're excellent kids. And they have created a culture within our team that truly shows that the upperclassmen really want to give back. They are able to help out the younger kids and help them along the way, because now this is our third year together with all of them, and it's really been a pleasure to see them grow and to be amazing human beings. And, I know that they're going to do amazing things in their future, and I also wanted to thank Mr. LeVar for giving us this opportunity. He's been super supportive all season long. So I just wanted to say thank you to the bowlers, thank you to all, and also thank you to the parents. Believe it or not, they have a ton of support, and it's a lot harder to lug around a bunch of bowling balls from town to town than you would think. So I do truly appreciate that, because that would be almost impossible without all the support of the parents. So thank you all, and I would like to have Jessica speak about Maya Snee and her state championship run.
So Maya has been the only girl on our JV varsity traveling team for the last few years. As someone who was part of a boys team growing up, I know the challenges and the opportunities that brings. This year, and in her senior year, Maya had a really breakout season. She averaged 197, and with that, she was given the opportunity to either go to sectionals with the team, or to opt out and have the opportunity to try to make the girls' composite team for states. The composite team takes the top 6 averages for sectionals, and they create that team, which then goes to states, and each section is represented by its own team. And I was lucky enough to be able to coach that team this year. At sectionals, Maya finished 4th. She bowled a 1200 series to move her on to states in Syracuse, and then it was about 10 days ago. Yeah. She had games of 244, 244, 214, 206, 205, and 213 for a 221 average on the day. She led the team, and we came in 2nd place behind a very talented Section 11 team. But our girls did amazing, and Maya definitely, I think she made the right decision, and she had a great showing. We are going to miss her. She finished, oh, by the way, she finished 6th out of all the large school girls out there at states this year. And we wish her well, and I hope she has a very successful college bowling career next. Can we move over even perfect? Thank you.
Next, we just want to run through a couple of other notable highlights from a few of our other teams. Our cheerleading team had a very successful season. The winter season is a time for competition within the cheerleading sports realm. Our team had great success this year. They were able to place 2nd in the Suburban Council League. They were 4th in sectionals. They had a tournament win at Columbia. They received recognition for choreography at one of their tournaments with a 1st place choreography award. And we had one of our cheerleaders, Gianna Bruno, recognized as an all-league 2nd team member. Both of our basketball teams, the boys and girls basketball teams, had tremendous seasons. The boys were 11-2 and 18-3 overall. A typo there, 18-3. Apologize. They were 2nd in the Suburban Council. They were 5th place in Section 2. We had several players you can see there named to the All-Star team. And had a tough loss in the postseason, but a lot to be proud of. A very young team that I think is going to do big things down the road. Girls basketball as well had a tough fought season. They were 8-4 in the league, 15-7 overall. Several of those losses were by 1 or 2 points. A lot of very close, hard fought games. Also a very young team that's going to be around for quite some time, doing some big things here at Shen. They had a push into the postseason, and they lost a semi-final game in the sectionals in thrilling fashion, taking a very talented team to overtime and losing by just, I believe, 3 points in overtime. So that was an exciting one at Hudson Valley. Also had several athletes named to the all-star teams for the section. So a lot to be proud of in basketball as well. We also just want to note that we had a couple of exciting special events hosted or carried out by the athletic department. One of them was a girls basketball school day game that Mr. Gosnoni helped us organize. It was well attended and exciting, and had a chance for our athletes to perform in front of a full house of student athletes and their peers. We celebrated former Shen standout and NBA player Kevin Herter by retiring his jersey at a ceremony in between two sold-out house-filled basketball games. And that was a great ceremony to see him and his family celebrate his successes both here at Shen and beyond. We recently had a training meeting for many of our coaches to participate in a program called Coaching Boys to Men and also Athletes as Leaders. Those two programs are meant to instill some values and character and teamwork and responsibility in our athletes through conversations with their coaches. The last thing I will mention that's not up there is we were proud to host a sectional regional championship games here earlier in the month for Class B and Class C. That went very well and was well attended. We were happy to host that here at Shen. We're going to be hosting some other sectional and regional events in the spring as well. The last thing that I did want to just take a moment to recognize in front of this crowd of peers and athletes and parents and members of the Shen community, something that is something that we're very proud of as an athletic department. It was mentioned briefly earlier this evening, but I want to take a moment just to highlight this a bit more. We had one of our longtime coaches and a staple of our athletic program recognized, and I just want to talk a little bit about his background. This coach wrestled both at Fulton Montgomery Community College as well as Springfield College. He was an All-American wrestler. He placed 6th as a national junior college champion. Since he came to Shenendehowa, not even the beginning of his coaching career, since he came here to Shenendehowa, he has well over 320 wins for Shenendehowa as a wrestling coach. He has over 80 sectional individual champions that he's coached. He's an 11-time sectional championship coach. He coached over 25 state championship place finishers. He led Shen wrestling programs to 4 New York State team championships. He is a 6-time Suburban Council Coach of the Year. He was the 2011 New York State Coach of the Year. He's a longtime faculty manager. He's a PE teacher. He has been involved with our unified sports program since the inception here at Shen. And I'm proud to call him a colleague and also a friend. So without further ado, I know he's not expecting this, but we'd like to call back Coach Weeks up to the podium.
I definitely did not have a speech prepared, but thank you. I think one of the things about becoming a Hall of Fame member is that you've been involved in something for a long time. I've been here at Shenendehowa for a long time, but it feels like a second. The support we have within athletics is second to none. As a parent of students in a different district, I see the parallels and I see the differences, and I'm truly honored to be recognized. The other thing I think it tells you is that you're supposed to be retired or you're supposed to be off in the sunset, and I'm not. I love coaching wrestling. I like mentoring Chris Capizzuti to help him hopefully be in this position someday as a coach. So I truly, I appreciate the award. Doesn't mean anything to me in relation to what it means to the athletes that I've coached over the years. So with that being said, I'd say thank you very much for the award.
Perfect.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Certainly well deserved. I do have to say, Coach Weeks is someone who's always willing to give his time to help out any kid that needs it, and not just on the wrestling mat, but in the school. So we appreciate you. Just to finish up, I know we got other programs coming up behind me. I'll be out of your way soon, but I would be remiss without taking a moment to thank everyone for their support of athletics here at Shen. A big thank you to the Board of Education, to Superintendent Robinson, to Deputy Superintendent Dr. Wilson Turner, our coaches, our faculty managers, our athletic trainers, my athletic administrative assistant, Mrs. Brown, and especially to our community, our parents, and our athletes. Without everyone I just mentioned collectively working towards our goals, we wouldn't be able to continue our tradition of excellence both on the field and in the classroom. So thank you very much. Appreciate you having me this evening.
There's some for the.
Okay, yeah.
You want to start taking down?
I'm just gonna say that we're gonna try to stop and start our audio and video because there seems to be some video